I'm Brian Professor B. Davis. This is your San Francisco 49ers post-game recap here in the Mission District here in San Francisco. It was if any way you could shape and form of Sunday's game between your reigning NFC champion 49ers against the Miami Dolphins in this interconference matchup. It was all but, in the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator, it was all bad and bad, and bad. It was all bad at the Mecca in Santa Clara as the Niners just get mollywopped by the Miami Dolphins by a score of 43-17 in Santa Clara. And it was bad from the start. The Dolphins jumped out of the gate at one point. It was 30-7 at the intermission. And really nothing all day for the 49ers. It was just pretty much Dolphins dominated. They never trailed. They went wire to wire. The Dolphins dominated the game. They end up in all phases. They end up, in fact, the Niners defense, we'll get to that in a moment. The Dolphins end up in the entire contest 436 total yards of offense, and they dominated with 342 yards passing, 94 yards rushing, and the Niners did get over. That was probably one of the positives of this Sunday's game. 131 rushing yards. Total plays, Dolphins 63 to the Niners 59. And then the Niners were penalized 7 times for 75 yards worth of penalties. The Dolphins dominated the time of possession, 36 minutes and 53 seconds to the Niners 223. Niners defense prior to this Sunday's game against the Dolphins, 18 points and 148 pass yards, 295 yards throughout the first 4 games. Today, the Niners defense surrendered 43 points, 342 yards, and surrendered 434 total yards in offense. That's the most. And the 43 points given up by the Niners, they allowed. That's the most points the Niners have given up in a game since the Mecca Levis Stadium opened 6 years ago, back in 2014. This is their 7th season down at the Mecca. It was all bad. Not a great day for Jimmy Garoppolo. 7 out of 17, 77 yards passing. He threw 2 interceptions. He was sacked 3 times. C.J. Beathard, who was active, by the way, Nick Mullins was on the inactive list. He did not suit up for Sunday's game. Beathard came in for the second half, 9 of 18 for 94 yards passing, a touchdown. And then really the only bright spots, Raheem Mostert, 11 carries for 90 yards, average 8.2 yards. His longest was 37. Then George Stone Cold Kittle, 4 catches for 44 yards, averaged 11 yards a catch. Brandon Ayuk, the rookie, 3 catches for 44 yards, averaged 14.7 yards. So with the loss, the Niners now drop their record to 2-3. They lose with the Rams winning their game against the Redskins. The Rams are now 4-1. The Niners now trail the Rams for second place, 2 games behind the Rams. They most likely, assuming as we're doing this taping, the Niners are playing the Seahawks are playing the Vikings up at CenturyLink Field, and that game is on NBC at press time. Assuming if the Seahawks were to beat the Vikings, the Niners will fall themselves 3 games out of first, and they trail the Cardinals by 1 game plus the tiebreaker the Cardinals have by beating the Niners in week 1. So the Niners are also, by the way, in addition, the Niners are first time the Niners started the season 0-3. The first time they started 0-3 to start the season at home, lose their first 3 at home, you got to go way back to 1982. That was, of course, the strike-shortened season of '82. where the Niners went 3-6 that year. They went 0-5 at home that year in that shortened, truncated season in 1982, where they played 9 games of that season because of the in-season players strike. And the Niners went a dismal 0-5 at Candlestick. In fact, the Niners would only account for that streak continued through week number 10 where the Niners end up losing 9 out of 10, went 1-9 of their next 10 games at Candlestick, and more decisively, that their 9th loss came in the 10 games back on November 6, 1983, when they lost to the Miami Dolphins at Candlestick 20-17. That was Dan Marino's rookie year at quarterback. And not only the fact for the Miami Dolphins, their first win in the Bay Area out here on the West Coast against the Niners since 2004. The Dolphins have won 4 of their last 5 head-to-head meetings against the Niners going back to 2004. It was at one point the Niners, including their Super Bowl 19 win against the Dolphins, had beaten them 5 straight times. 4 of those 5 times came in the regular season. But since 2004, the Dolphins have now won 4 of the last 5. They now lead the all-time series against the 49ers with 8 wins, 6 losses, and they're 4-1 in their last 5 head-to-head meetings versus San Francisco. So really nothing much else to say. This was a dreadful loss. The Niners, with all the injuries, with Nick Bosa and Solomon Thomas done for the season, Ziggy Ansah, who tore his biceps last Sunday night against the Philadelphia Eagles at the Mecca, he's done for the season. And it's a tough thing for the 49ers, and who knows, they're going to have to ride the ship, and there's still a lot of games left, and it does not get any better for San Francisco, because they will play the Rams next Sunday night, 1 week from today, or Sunday Night Football on NBC, and that kickoff time will be at 5:20 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The game will be seen on NBC, which will be preceded by Football Night in America, hosted by Mike Tirico, along with former Super Bowl champions Rodney Harrison and Super Bowl winning coach and Hall of Famers Tony Dungy. And then the kickoff time 5:20 and it'll be on NBC as Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth with the play-by-play in action, and on the Niners flagship KBR 680 104.5 FM as Greg Papa and Tim Ryan will give you the call, and the home field advantage continue to be like the home field disadvantage down at the Mecca, with no fans are allowed at this time to be in the stadium during this crazy, bizarre year due to the pandemic. So Niner fans, the best you can do is just, hang in there and just ride the ship. And injuries are part of the game, especially after reaching the Super Bowl. And it's a tough window. It's a small window to win a Super Bowl, because it's not guaranteed. And whatever happens, from this point forward, you just got to take them 1 game at a time. Because after the Niners play the Rams this week, 2 weeks from today, they travel to Foxborough to take on the Patriots up at Gillette Stadium. Then they play the Seahawks up at the Link. And then after that, they play the New Orleans. Then they play the Packers on Thursday night. Then they'll rematch of the NFC Championship. Then they'll play the New Orleans Saints after that, right before their bye week won't be till late November, right around Thanksgiving. So the Niners are just going to have to ride the ship until they get people back who are available to come back this season healthy. And we just have to hope and pray for the best. And just, like I said, hey, you got to hang in there and stay with them. This is kind of that pattern we've seen in recent times. And the Niners, we just got to take them 1 game at a time. Other than that, that's it for now. I'm Brian Professor B. Davis, and so long. You've been watching 49ers postgame recap on Niners Radio. They fall to the Miami Dolphins Sunday afternoon at Levis Stadium at the Mecca in Santa Clara. Dolphins 43, your San Francisco 49ers 17. I'm Prime Professor B. Davis for Niners Radio. Niners Radio is an association with the Rio Sportsnet Bay Area Network. 49ers football, faithful by the Bay. Stay faithful, my friends.